Hey folks, my name is Kevin Douglas Berg. This is What Was I Saying blog KDB. Let me get my other light so you guys can see me better. Um, I would just like to uh, interject a little bit on the philosophy. Excuse me, sorry, that's better. The philosophy and the ethos of Russian thought. Let's put it that way. And I don't just get this from looking at the Putin papers or the quotes or other things. Russia, and it's funny, I just looked it up, 2019, whatever, 2016 or 17. Putin warns against a U.S. attack on Russia. Not only that, I also watched that whole documentary about, when we were at, it was called, not Launch on Command, but we were at Mutual Assured Destruction, deterrence on both our sides. We agreed in the Cold War and after, if anybody did anything, it was going to go all out and no one survived. So the threat of the possibility of mutually assured destruction of the world kept people from going to that extreme, right? I remember they talk about this American historian on nuclear technology and stuff like that, and he was working the Pentagon. He went back and forth stuff, and he always asked this one guy, and he's always like, he was paranoid. He always said, he's an American guy. So he said, the Russians are going to attack. The Russians are going to attack for 20, 30 years. Now, with that being said, and those quotes, and our actions and their actions, and what we wanted to accomplish and what they want to accomplish, both paranoid. Putin was saying it in 2017, 17 or 19, and our side feels kind of like the same way. Of course, right now, we feel threatened. We felt threatened by Russia. They feel threatened that we will attack anytime. This is a long-going paranoia of two superpowers. Where does that leave us? Where does that leave us? Your guess right now is as good as mine. A lot's going to hinder on who gets elected or who stays in office. That's going to be one of the big points here. Will they be able to keep that powder keg, Ukraine, NATO, us, Ukraine, Russia, us, China, Taiwan, all that at the side and wait for an election? That's not going to happen for 5 months, or like 4.5 months. And with that being said, what and exactly how bad are things going to get for Ukraine, for Russia, for what Putin wants, for what NATO wants? for what the other Baltic states want. It is a draw right now, I guess you could say. But will the steps that take us over that draw, over that pseudo coup d'etat, not pseudo coup d'etat, a pseudo fait, will that take place prior to the election? Or are they going to be able to hold themselves and see what administration comes in on both sides? And see what kind of pressures come in at both sides. And international powers to be China, Modi from India, North Korea, what these other power players are going to play a part in this horrendous game of chicken. But I just want to bring up, both sides are very paranoid that the other was always going to attack or potentially attack us way back when, and now. Putin way back when, and definitely now. We have to really rationalize this and give people a way to save face and be able to return to whatever they want to return to. Because if we give an ultimatum, they will give an ultimatum right back. No one in this game right now, and I got chills thinking about it, is going to blink. And to think 5 billion people, 72 minutes, submarines on both sides, right on the coasts of both countries, 15 to 20 minutes for those, about 20 minutes for those. Pyongyang is 30 minutes. Russia's another 30 minutes, something like 26 minutes. A 6-minute launch on command strategic policy we have now? Yes or no? President, whatever, whoever, whenever. The world or those in power get this wrong, we're all going to be living in whatever destiny happens post whatever this face-off really comes down to. What are the reasons on both sides? What is the idea of victory on both sides? What is the idea of saving face on both sides? Two plutocrats, like I spoke before, lifelong plutocrats of whatever ideologies could possibly decide the future for mankind right now at any time. Be honest with you, anytime. Our ICBMs are pointed at them. Their ICBMs are pointed at us. You can't call those back. Once they're up, they're up. 72 minutes, it's over. Where are we in this? Where do you think we are in this? And where do you think this is going? Are both sides irrational or rational? And are both sides willing to not let the other one and walk away. We're not only talking about egos, we're talking about legacies, we're talking about history, we're talking about attitudes, experiences, we're talking about what's in their souls. Basically, we're talking about what's in their souls. What is in the soul of Joe Biden? What is in the soul of Vladimir Putin? What is it that will make or not make whatever decision they feel they have to do? Spoke of Putin, said, "You're encroaching us, you're encroaching us, you're encroaching us, you're encroaching us, stay in your own business, stay in your own business." At the same time, we're like, no, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, we're going to use Ukraine as a bank. We're going to use Ukraine as a bank. We're going to use Ukraine as a bank. This is more than just what we see on the surface. And it always is in a war. But, as they've stated in the past, after World War III gets fought, whatever war after that will be fought with sticks and stones. Because it'll be the total destruction of civilization as we know it. Heavy thoughts. Heavy thoughts on a very diabolical conundrum we have right the fuck now. Look at his quotes. Look at what we did. Look what NATO did. Look what he did. Where's this going? I don't like the look of it at all. And as I stated in the past, is this a move, what we're doing, to help peace or provoke a war? And if we're doing either, we better get, if we're doing the later, if we're doing the first, we better get the fucking going, because, as I said before too, Cuban Missile Crisis, they were talking. They weren't happy with each other, but they were talking. You have the Indian Prime Minister coming over to speak to Vladimir Putin. Wonder what that's going to be about. China, North Korea. They already allianced. Russia will give North Korea nukes. Goes both ways. What's China and Russia going to do? China and India have been on the side this whole time, not placing a bet with Ukraine or with us, or with Russia. We have potentially the worst possible outcome in all this. We potentially also have one of the best outcomes too. What would be better than have NATO and Russia participate in military exercises, which they do not? What could be better than NATO having some kind of say, Russia having some kind of say involving NATO, and NATO having a more uninvolved but involved discussion with Russia? Are we getting close to the point of not backing down? No fucking way. Is it already written? This is a go-ahead no matter what happens. Politically. Nothing's done by happenstance or by coincidence on a world stage. Involved global powers of superpowers of nation elites. Whatever is going on for a purpose, for a reason, and for an objective. That's it. My name's Kevin Douglas Berg. This was basically the seventh kind of just insight of what I thought about what's going on. And with that, we'll pray it out. Pray for you, pray for me, pray for world peace, pray for those people coming and going, pray for those on a plane, train, automobile. Pray for everybody is serving, post-serving, fighting with PTSD. Pray for everybody in uniform, everybody, first responders, anybody in police, firefighters. I already said that, didn't I? Anybody in the hospital on a better day. Pray for all those that do not have the necessities, basic necessities of life, like shelter, food, nourishment, a place to rest, a place to clean themselves, a place to be checked on, to make sure they're healthy. Hopefully tomorrow there's a more compassionate day than it is today. Hopefully tomorrow the world shows more compassion in general to other people. And I pray for you and me and world peace. My name is Kevin Douglas Berg. I'm here to provoke thought and move humanity just a little bit. Thank you very much. You folks are the best.